Welcome back, everybody. I am back at it again with a brand new YouTube video. So today we're going to be talking about the Hasbro The Black Series Boba Fett helmet. So if you've seen an image of Boba Fett in the background, that is going to be the helmet that we're going to be discussing for you guys. And so today I have here a really special product review for you guys. This is going to be on the 40th anniversary edition of the Star Wars The Empire Strikes Back Hasbro The Black Series Boba Fett helmet. Now this helmet is really freaking cool for a variety of different reasons, mostly because of the fact that this is inspired by one of my favorite Star Wars trilogies, and that is the original trilogy followed by the prequel trilogy. And why is this thing pretty sick? And that is because of the fact that this is a replica of the Boba Fett helmet from the film. I don't know if they actually went and scanned the original helmet or if they casted it from a mold, but this thing looks pretty sick, and there's a lot of really cool detail on sort of the front of the helmet as well as inside of the helmet. And we're going to be taking a look at that for you guys, mostly because of the fact that I just got this and I felt like it was a really cool idea to talk about this thing for you guys in this channel, especially if you're thinking about getting this for yourself as sort of a Star Wars fan, or if you're going to be using this as a display piece or going to conventions while wearing this, or even just to wear this around the house and stuff like that. I've certainly done that, especially since I pretty much purchased this. This does retail on Amazon for at least $120, $130 depending on taxes and stuff like that, especially if you choose to do sort of the 2-day shipping. That could be a little bit more depending on if you do not have Amazon Prime account right now. I would highly recommend going that route. I know that people have kind of gotten these directly from the Hasbro shop, but I was not that lucky to originally get this when this came out, pretty much after the fact. But when I saw the fact that they actually made Hasbro The Black Series Boba Fett helmet, I had to procure one for myself. I am going to be talking about The Mandalorian on my channel at some point in time, either a series review or I'm going to be doing an entire series breakdown of everything in the series that I like, and mostly because of the fact that I do know some people that actually worked on The Mandalorian and kind of have a part to play within that series and have either been actors or worked on the show itself, which I think would be really cool if eventually Hasbro definitely decided to do Hasbro The Black Series Mandalorian helmet. I would definitely pick one up, especially if it was in either all gray or all silver like it is in the TV series. But I know that there is Mando style helmets out there. I know that there are more high quality Boba Fett helmet replicas out there, especially with the EFX and the Anovos. But why is Boba Fett cool? I think everybody knows that Boba Fett is a silent antagonist within the Star Wars franchise, especially with Star Wars The Empire Strikes Back as well as Return of the Jedi. His father was featured in the prequel films as well as a young Boba Fett. That was back when he had the silver and sort of blue Mando style helmet. And I think that it would be really cool if they actually went back and actually did sort of a silver and blue style helmet like the one that was in prequel films for Boba Fett and Jango Fett. But I digress. I still think that this idea of doing a Boba Fett style helmet is really sick, especially since Kathleen Kennedy was actually originally supposed to be doing a Boba Fett style film, and eventually that got canceled and Josh Trank was pretty much fired from doing that, which is a little bit disappointing, especially as a Star Wars fan. I think that it'd be really cool to kind of develop sort of the backstory between Boba Fett. I know that in the Star Wars Legends, or the Expanded Universe as it was originally called, they did explain how Boba Fett managed to get out of the Sarlacc pit, especially after Han Solo bitch slapped him into there. He pretty much either shot himself out or flew out of there, which I think was a pretty cool idea to kind of say that yes, Boba Fett did in fact indeed survive the Sarlacc pit. I think it would be really cool for them to explain that in sort of Expanded Universe lore. You know, I think that Boba Fett film should be made, and I think that definitely you should hire somebody that's really cool, that sounds really interesting, that is pretty much like the original Boba Fett, if not hire the original actor himself to play the role. I digress. I think that as a Star Wars collector, as a Star Wars fan, this is a really accurate replica. I really do like the fact that the visor has a lot of field of view, especially when you're wearing this thing, which I will show you guys in a little bit. I like the fact that it is a T visor, so you have a lot more field of view compared to that of the Kylo Ren Black Series helmet that I have. With the Kylo Ren helmet, it's kind of just at the top. There's like a little slit here. There's none of this T visor down the middle that'll allow you to see better, especially when you're wearing it. So you really got a narrow sort of field of view, especially when you're wearing it in an indoors environment. You kind of have to guess and check through the cracks of the helmet where you're pretty much positioned within the room, which is a little bit annoying considering the fact that when I'm wearing these things, I want to actually be able to see out of them. I want to actually be able to wear these things to a convention, to cosplay as, to just wear it around the house and take pictures of, and I want to be able to see where I'm looking at in terms of the room, in terms of being outside and stuff, because I don't want to be banging around stuff when I'm trying to wear this thing or tripping and falling. This rangefinder piece actually will break if you're not careful with it. When I was first assembling this thing, which this is the only piece that you really have to assemble, which is pretty cool, I was actually thinking that you have to pull this thing off to get to the battery compartment, which the battery compartment is right here, and there is a AAA battery currently installed in here, so we don't have to do any of that on this video. There's other videos that are out there that kind of show you how to install this into the Hasbro Black Series helmet, so I'm not going to actually waste my time doing that. I think that would be a waste of time for you guys. I just want to talk about the helmet itself and what's cool about it and sort of different features. But one thing I do like about the rangefinder is, like within the movie, it does drop down. It does sort of have the blinking lights. It's not as fast as Empire Strikes Back or whatnot, but it does kind of have blinking LED screen and blinking LED lights here. So I will show you that in a little bit. How you do that, how you activate the LED is you press this button right here, and then it just pretty much drops down. You get that cool sort of blinking light effect and stuff. And as you can tell, there's sort of some of the LED screen light kind of coming out of the cracks of the little protective piece here, which I'm going to pull that and set this down on the side for now. When you are actually wearing helmet, you can see a little bit of the rangefinder in your field of view. You can't see a lot of it because it's pretty much projected on sort of the side, kind of like this. So you don't really have that much visibility when looking through the viewfinder, especially when you're looking at that while wearing it, which I'm going to demonstrate for you guys in a second. But I really do think that is a pretty cool addition. This doesn't come with sort of a voice changer, kind of like the Stormtrooper or the Kylo Ren one. I think that the Hasbro voice changers have been kind of crappy, so I don't think that it was necessary for them to implement that into the Boba Fett helmet, which they had sort of a nicer voice changer. That would have been cool, but I'm sure that would have driven up the price and stuff like that. And you can install one if you really do want one to this helmet, which I don't think it'd be that hard to do if you were really good at doing that kind of stuff. But to reset it, all you have to do is flip it back up, and then as you can see, sort of the lights kind of dim down and are not sort of blinking and stuff. Just the detail around this thing all over is just awesome. You've got sort of the indentations that are actually indented in the helmet. You've got this blaster mark here from when Boba Fett was probably in a firefight and blaster bolt sort of impacted the helmet, indented it, and ricocheted probably some of it off and splattered some of the plasma goop onto the helmet. And I'm sure that Boba Fett was probably in a lot of battles and stuff like that within the Star Wars universe, which is why you see so much of the scarring stuff, which you can actually feel on the helmet, which I think is relatively nice. I like the paint job. It's not entirely accurate to the one that's in sort of the Empire Strikes Back or Return of the Jedi. It's a little bit of a grayer sort of green. It's not the camouflage green that you see in Boba Fett's armor plating in Empire Strikes Back or even Return of the Jedi. So, I mean, if you're into sort of the more movie accurate one, I would suggest maybe going for the Anubis or the EFX one, but just look at the detail on the back of this helmet. Like, it's all around, like all over this thing. Like, that's one of the things I really did appreciate, and one of the things that sold me on buying this. One thing to note that on some of the helmets with the paint job, this one has a complete flush all over with sort of this helmet pattern design. I know that some of the YouTubers that I follow have shown that they've had sort of issues where it kind of dug into the helmet, which mine definitely does not, which is kind of nice. It's something that is nitpicky, especially if your helmet comes in where the paint job is not 100%, which it definitely should be if you're buying something that's expensive at $120, $130, wherever you purchase it from. I know that they have gone on sale in terms of discounts and stuff like that in the past, but I don't know if they're going to be doing that anytime in the near future. But you also got sort of the detailing in sort of the bucket of the helmet with this really intricate design, especially with the padding that you can see there, which is awesome too. That's one of the things that I also like, is the fact that this padding actually feels good, especially when you're wearing it on the helmet compared to sort of the Kylo Ren Black Series helmet, or even the Poe Dameron X-Wing fighter pilot helmet, which was a little bit too snug on my head and kind of hurt to wear it for long periods of time. This feels great, especially when you're wearing it for hours on end. Like, even the head strap, I didn't really have to adjust it that much because I have a huge head, and when I put this thing on for the first time, it just fit like a glove. And I think that's one of the reasons why I think I'm going to be definitely wearing this thing in the future, especially in sort of a Mandalorian review series, or even if I just review it straight through. Either way, I think that for the product that you get, for the fact that this is a replica of the Empire Strikes Back helmet, for the fact that this is a really high quality piece that is hard plastic, like even as I'm tapping on this, it's not going to break or anything. It's not flimsy like sort of a costume piece that could easily break. This is from Hasbro themselves, and they make really high quality helmets, which is why I've been collecting them. I think for the Star Wars collector, for the fan, especially someone that's been around the Star Wars franchise as much as I have, I really do dig this thing. I really do dig design and the build quality of this. And you know, maybe in the future I will get into sort of the Anuvos or EFX style helmets, which are made out of fiberglass and metal, which, like I said before, those range anywhere from $500 to $600. But I just didn't want to break the bank. I didn't want to spend that much money on a helmet that I know that I was going to wear just every once in a while. Like this thing, even out of the box, I've been kind of wearing this nonstop. So I think that this is definitely something that's really cool, that's really going to attract a lot of attention, especially if you have people over. They're going to be like, that's a really sweet sort of Boba Fett style helmet. Is that from the Mandalorian or whatnot? They're going to be asking a lot of questions. If you have the right knowledge, you can tell them that yes, that is a Boba Fett helmet. No, that's not from the Mandalorian, because Boba Fett is not a Mandalorian. He is pretty much just a straight bounty hunter, like I said before, working for Jabba and Darth Vader and sort of the other characters within the Star Wars universe, which I think that's pretty sweet per se, that he doesn't really follow the rules, that he's pretty much a silent antagonist, that he says really cool one-liners when he needs to. He's pretty much like the Master Chief, and it's really sweet that Halo and Star Wars have been compared to each other, because they do sort of have that silent antagonist, silent protagonist character that doesn't remove their helmet, that doesn't really speak a lot, but does say the coolest one-liners in franchise ever. And I think that's one of the reasons why I like collecting these so much, because it does have that aspect. And as someone who's read Joseph Campbell's The Hero's Journey, or The Hero with 1,000 Faces, or even Power of Myth, which are books that really inspired George Lucas to create the Star Wars franchise, I think that is really cool that I can have sort of something like this that I can actually wear, compared to like my Master Chief and the Halo 3 limited edition collector's edition, which unfortunately you can't wear. It is really cool nonetheless, but you can't wear it. It pretty much just houses the games and stuff, but this thing you can actually wear. So without further ado, I'm going to try this on, give you guys my final thoughts, and we will finish off this video for you guys. Let me do that, and I'll see you guys a little bit. Oh man, this thing is freaking awesome. Like, even just putting this helmet on, you get that feeling that you are Boba Fett while wearing this. You completely change in sort of your mannerisms and how you speak speak and stuff, it is a little bit muffled in terms of your voice, which is why I'm sure that when you're hearing me with a playback and stuff like that, it sounds a little bit muffled, like the audio quality is down a little bit. But either way, I think that if you were to wear this in videos, if you were to wear this while talking about Star Wars in the future, I think that you could definitely get away with doing that, especially if you got like a lavalier mic and had it like underneath, which I don't have. I'm pretty much just using a Blue Yeti and a pop filter, which you've seen in my other videos. So that's kind of the way that you guys could hear me right now. And I think that without it, it'd be really difficult for you to hear me, especially on the webcam that I'm using. But either way, I think as a Star Wars fan, as someone that's really into Star Wars, that really likes the detail that's in this helmet, just how really good it looks, especially when it's on camera, especially when you're taking pictures and stuff like that, it really looks good. It looks sort of metallic and stuff like that. I don't know how it looks while you're watching it back from this cheap web camera that I got from Target for like $70, which is the Logitech. I really do like using, especially in my videos. But either way, I think that as a Star Wars collector, someone that wants this as a display piece in their background, is someone that really enjoys the universe and wearing these helmets when I'm talking about the movies and stuff like that for you guys that likes collecting lightsabers and movie memorabilia, I think I got my money's worth. I think that for $120, $130, you're getting something that's really badass, especially if you really do want the more expensive helmets that are a little bit more pricey at $500 to $600. You definitely go that route, but for me, I'm totally fine with just the hard plastic sort of bucket helmet with the rangefinder piece here. Now, I will show you guys what it looks like while you're wearing the helmet with sort of the rangefinder down. It's pretty much the same thing as you saw before with the rangefinder and me just showing you guys the helmet, but I really do like this thing. I think it's pretty sick, especially while I'm wearing it. Like, I can see everything around me. I got this really cool field of vision up top with the T-visor on top, and then I got this section in the middle here, which just gives you a wider view than Kylo Ren or the Stormtrooper helmet. Those helmets are really hard to see through, especially as a Star Wars collector, as sort of a memorabilia prop collector that wants something that I can actually wear. It does fog up a little bit, so when you're wearing it, definitely try not to talk as much as I am in this review, but like if you do wipe it down, you can get some of this mist off of it. But I have filmed this review multiple times, so that is why mine is all fogged up and stuff. I probably should have wiped it down before I done this review, but overall I think that movements, the head movements are really good. I like the fact that this is highly detailed. Like I said before, the scarring on the helmet looks really accurate compared to the one in the film. There is something that's missing, which is a thumbprint from when someone was painting during the original trilogy and they had sort of the production model. They accidentally touched the helmet with their thumb and they had like a thumbprint on it, but that's not on this helmet, which is a little bit disappointing that it's not 100% accurate to the paint job in the one in the movie. But I think for a replica helmet that looks really good, that looks good in camera, that looks good as a prop, I think you're getting your money's worth, and I think that you'll be definitely pleased with the price, especially the more expensive ones that are out there. So let's demonstrate rangefinder right now. All I have to do is press down and it'll flop down. There is a little bit of movement and shakiness in the helmet when you're wearing this and the rangefinder's down. You do get the LED blinking lights like I said before, and then you get the LED screen, which is really, really nice. You can just pull off that protective piece or you can leave that on while you're wearing it. Like, it looks really badass, but I can only see the edge of the rangefinder. I can't see the rangefinder itself, which is a little disappointing because that is covered by the faceplate. But I think either way, I didn't really want this to get in the helmet either way when I'm wearing this, so I think that as just a showpiece, it's really cool. So I'm not really that disappointed. I think that the Lenovo's helmets or the EFX helmets might be a little bit more accurate. I don't know. I've never really bought those. I've only seen them in videos. But to bring this back in place, like I said, all you have to do is snap it back up and you're pretty much good to go. But like I said, as a Star Wars collector, as a movie memorabilia collector, I think that this helmet, the Empire Strikes Back Black Series Boba Fett helmet, is definitely worth your money. It's definitely better than some of the costume pieces that you can buy out there. And I think as a Star Wars fan, if you're looking to use this for videos, if you're looking for this as a fan film to use, if you're going to be using this in terms of cosplay or conventions in the near future, I think that you guys will definitely have some fun with this helmet. And I can't stress enough how awesome this thing is, especially while wearing this. Like, it's just badass. So I would recommend it. Let me know in the comment section down below if you plan on buying Hasbro Black Series helmet. And as always, guys, hopefully learn a thing or two about the movie industry. And as always, guys, rate, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.